Okay, so I haven't really seen many people talk about the movie Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, right? And okay, this is gonna be bad on my part. Okay, so these books, the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, were super popular in middle school and high school, right? I'm not so much as high school, but mainly like middle school, like 6th grade to 8th, or maybe 6th grade to 9th, 10th grade, really. But personally, I never read these. I never read these. I know. Everyone is pissed at me right now for that. But bear with me. I didn't read them, but I kind of knew the concept anyways. I mean, it's scary stories, and it's just a whole thing about scary stories. It's just different scary stories. I've read books that were like that, but not the same books exactly. But I went to watch the movie recently. Okay, I didn't go to watch the movie. I rented it on Redbox, and I watched it. It was, okay, honestly, loved it, loved it. It was so good. And like they kept the visuals really well done. Like it looked like the pictures from the books, right? Except, it wasn't in black and white. And I mean I hated some of the characters, but it wasn't their fault. Like they acted really well. I just hated them just by the way they looked, I guess. I don't know. That's mean. But the movie, I loved it. I loved it. And so since I didn't read the books, I might be speaking and be completely wrong in this, but my interpretation of the books was that they're all just separate stories. Just the stories, different names, this and that, story, that's it. And so in the movie, what they did was they built a story around those stories. And like, you're probably like, yeah, no, duh. Well, no, I mean like, I don't know what I expected of the movie. I guess I did kind of expect just different clips of the stories being like kind of lightly intertwined together in a cohesive way, in like a flow. But this was like, they made the city have those characters that those stories were happening to, and they built a whole family and a whole story behind the family behind of the person who wrote the books. And so the stories that were happening to people that she knew because she didn't like them. And so then like partway through the movie, it starts happening live, like it starts being written in real time, and it starts affecting the people in the town that I guess she doesn't like at the time either. And I thought that was fascinating. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like crazy hype about that, because I didn't know how they were gonna making a horror story or horror movie out of different separate stories, but they built a whole premise as to why this was happening and tying all those characters into the current situation. And so they definitely left it open for to have a possible sequel. And so I guess they ended up stopping the curse. So I guess this was based off just the first book, the first Scary Stories book, and I know there's like 2 more, I think it was. And so they left it open. So they ended up stopping the things happening to people, like the live stories. They ended up stopping that to the people that the main character knew. And so they stopped it, but they kind of left it open to interpretation, that being taken by the stories in the book didn't mean you were gone, because in the movie they ended up saving this one girl who did have the story affect her, but she was the one person they actually ended up saving, and the other 2 characters were taken by some instance of their own separate stories, and the first person like died, I guess. But so since the way that they stopped the bad things from happening and the stories from being written in real time was she started writing in her own blood into the book to make a new story as to what happened to the original writer of the book. And so since she was writing it and she was writing in blood, like since she was supposed to only write in blood to make it come true, so since she was writing it, she made those things manifest, I guess, and she promised the spirit of the girl that she would tell this truth about what happened to her and how she didn't end up harming those kids in the past or whatever. That you'll only get it if you watch the movie. But so I thought that was amazing. I thought that was really well executed, and I don't know. I wonder because like in most ghost stories, like they normally do end up getting rid of the bad guy, or it's in the cliffhanger kind of way that it's like you saw them die, but you don't know what they did. But in this movie, the ghost did pass on, and so she's still looking. Like no one came back from after the ghost was gone. No one came back. they were still affected and taken by their separate stories. And so she's like, oh, since I wrote in blood and I ended the curse, that means that there has to be a way that I can undo the stories and get the people back, like get my best friends back. And I'm excited. Not like since I didn't read the movies, it wasn't as cool to me like seeing the movies and being like, wow, it's a story. But the fact that they're making its own separate story about it makes me feel so hyped about it, because like that's such a clever way of making it open-ended, and I don't know how it would work to write the other, like if you made a sequel movie, I don't know how you would get the separate stories from the second book or third book to manifest, because the main ghost is gone. I don't know how they do that. I really don't know how they would do that. Like maybe if they made it like an It kind of thing where it's like every certain couple of years this happens to a certain number of people in the city. Like maybe if they do that, they would have the villain again and have a reason to keep going. But if the next book was just, hey, let's try to find a way to get people back, I don't know how well that would be executed, because there would be no feasible reason to me for them to have the other ghost stories come to life or manifest, unless they find out like, oh, she had separate books and I'm supposed to get rid of all the curses from all the books, and like I just have to find the other books and collect them all to get rid of the group, to get rid of all the curses and stop all the stories from happening. I don't know, like maybe it'll be like a whole Gravity Falls thing where you have to get all the journals and then just stop everything, right? I don't know. But I'm personally just excited about the fact that they could tie in a story and make it make sense with just separate stories. That's super cool to me. And so that definitely makes me hyped to want to watch another movie, because they did leave it open-ended, but I don't know if they're going to make another one. I hope they do. It'll be cool. If you haven't gone to see it, I definitely recommend renting it or something. Redbox doesn't always have a movie forever, so I guess I'd find it somewhere. Like maybe rent it on YouTube, because they do that for movies, and it's like $1.99, and that's not a bad price, especially since like that's almost kind of the price in Redbox or something, but in YouTube it's probably like forever. So I definitely recommend watching it. I'm not going to condone pirating it, but I know that everyone does that, so you know, you can go do that. I won't look at you like you're a bad person. Just tell me whether you like the movie or not, because I think it was beautiful. I think it was really well done. Bye. Go check it out.